teachers, administrative staff, and parents. We would like to thank all of you for taking out your precious time today to be here. I am Ms. Sanati Buk, Sports Vice Captain, your school, and it is an honor for me to welcome you all to the annual Parents Orientation Program for the academic year 2022-23.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ms. Samida Singh now, Vice House Captain of Poseidon House for the year 2021-22. For most parents, choosing the right school for their work is an important decision. With so many schools offering different environments, teaching styles, and philosophies, the experience can feel overwhelming. We will be sharing with all of you the core values and the learning philosophy of our school, and in the process, perhaps help you choose the right place for your works to learn and grow. During the course of the next hour or so, we would also be sharing our experience of being here since we were your kids' age.
Let me begin with your school story. Your school was established on 19th April 2008 after the launch of Your Kids with the intention of providing progressive and pioneering education to the students. Today, in 2022, we have accumulated experience of over 13 years and we keep upgrading ourselves as an institute to provide the best in global standards to our students. At your school, we strive to achieve a balance between academics and co-curricular activities, between theoretical and practical learning, between national curriculum and new teaching aids, and more importantly, shaping a child to be a responsible global citizen while retaining the rich Nepali ethos. Our school is a learning center where students develop ideas and understand how to pursue their dreams with passion and hold themselves and their classmates accountable for shared and individual work.
The school's mission is to provide each student with a personalized learning plan which caters to each child's abilities to achieve his or her highest potential. And we do this with the guidance of highly motivated and qualified teachers. We believe that each child is unique and has talents that needs to be nourished constantly in and outside the classroom. We constantly work with our parents in a triangular approach: parents, students, and teachers, so that we can provide the best possible educational guidance to each student.
Our vision is to become a premier educational institute that shall foster academic understanding, brilliance, spiritual well-being, psychological strengths, resourcefulness and creative skills, social responsibility, and concern for one's environment. Please allow us to introduce our school's management team, which shall guide you during today's session. Ms. Saileja Adhikari, our Principal and Managing Director, one of the most successful entrepreneurial stories of contemporary Nepal in the education and the fashion industry. After her graduation from Tribhuvan University, Kathmandu in 1994, and a brief stint as the banker at the Grimleys Bank, her passion for futuristic and progressive education sector in Nepal has led her to establish 12 prominent educational institutions in Nepal. Her flair for intuitive business and a formal master's degree in business administration combined with a vision and zeal for creating a premier global educational empire which concentrates on providing bold, broad, holistic, and forward-looking education for all has made her name to reckon within the fields of modern education and the fashion industry.
The other presenters for the day include our Vice Principal, Ms. Angela Taman, our School Head, Dr. Namrata Sakrani, our Primary Coordinator, Ms. Alina Shahi, and our CCA Coordinator, Ms. Karen Guru. The philosophy of education at your school is one which provides the very best teaching and learning environment possible, one which is caring and safe, developing the qualities of self-esteem, creative and critical thinking, respect for self and others, and positive attitude towards school and learning. our school that we should foster in our students pride, self-confidence, and a love of learning, while they develop physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially into mature, responsible citizens. We are committed to the philosophy that the child must be placed at the center of learning, acquiring skills needed to think clearly, communicate effectively, to make sound decisions, and to discriminate among values.
The school is driven by a deep belief that every student is capable of successful learning. A high priority is given to the building and maintaining positive and caring relationships between staff, students, and parents. There is a strong collegial culture of mutual trust and support among teachers, and school leaders and parents are treated as partners in the promotion of student learning and well-being. The school works to maintain a learning environment that is safe, respectful, tolerant, inclusive, and that promotes intellectual rigor.
Now, I would like to call upon our Vice Principal, Ms. Angela Thamam, to elaborate on learning culture.
Thank you, Samita. Good afternoon, everybody. First, let's begin with the subjects that your child is going to study in school. These are the subjects in the primary block. We have English, that's the first language of the school. Then we have Nepali as the second language, followed by math, science, social studies, and computer science. Computer science is all hands-on, so students will be spending their time in the computer lab. Now next, this is what the report card looks like for grades 1, 2, and 3. As you can see in the slide, these are the parameters that we assess our students across different subjects. In languages, English and Nepali, we assess them on listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and spellings. We do not follow the system of putting a cross when the child goes wrong. Invariably, when you see the corrections that are done by the teacher, you will see that the word has been circled. Psychologically, a cross gives a negative impact on the child's mind. So here we use, for juniors, grades 1, 2, and 3, we use a blue pen. And for grades 4 and above, we use a green pen for corrections. We don't use a red pen. Now next, scholastics. These are the traits that we assess in the child. Understands behavioral expectations in classroom, exhibits leadership qualities, shows initiation when assigned with any task or responsibilities, seeks to resolve conflicts with peers without being aggressive, is enthusiastic and curious in approaching new activities, is thoughtful of the feeling of his or her peers, is cooperative and friendly, asks for help when needed. So we give importance to these throughout the school year. Next, the CCA. The CCA like activities like our music, dance, art and craft, PE, they are also assessed in the same way. Now our assessment pattern for grades 1, 2 and 3, we do not have examination system on here. We have an ongoing system. We don't want our children to be burdened, so what we do is continuous assessment throughout the school year. So parents are not informed about it. How will parents come to know about it? When they see it in the diary, when homework will be coming in as revision. So this is an indicator that assessments are going to take place. Oral assessments are also ongoing assessments. So it will take up to 3 days for oral assessments because we have 30 students in a section. So if the child is absent on the first day, he can take that oral assessment the next day. But if it is a written assessment, then he will not be allowed to sit for the examination unless there's a valid reason for it. We have 2 teachers in a section, so it's a co-teacher system here. So One teacher teaches the languages and social studies, the other teaches math, science and computer. We have different teachers for the foreign language, for second language and the CCAs. Our teachers, they stay in the classroom throughout. They even monitor the lunch and snacks. Next, we have the pedagogical approaches to teaching. We use a mixed approach throughout the coursework that can help to each type of learning style. So we incorporate multiple strategies within that lesson. So the first one is crossover learning. What is crossover learning? Crossover learning, it combines the strength of both formal and informal learning environments, and it aims to provide our students with the best of both worlds. So our kids, they learn certain subjects better if they are taken outside the classroom. So as crossover learning suggests, many school subjects are more fun to learn if they are taken outside, interacted with things outside. So as in this current age, technologies have changed the way we teach and learn. So many new learning options have been developed and diversified both in the informal and formal contexts. Like when we take students to the museum or to the parks or exhibitions, that's crossover learning. And here in technologies, the use of virtual reality, students' phones, cameras, digital recording capabilities, this has enhanced the informal learning environment. So it's very important that whatever happens in the classroom should intersect with what happens outside and vice versa. So as you can see in the slides, everyone, this is crossover learning. Visit to the farms, to the nursery. Next is embodied learning. Embodied learning means the involvement of the whole body in the learning process. Your mind, your body, your cognition, your emotions, your physical action. And this applies especially to language. So, like role plays, acting, drawing comics, or playing educational games. So it's actually all hands-on activities. So this type of activities appeals to our kinesthetic learners. So as you can see in the slides, these are hands-on learning. Next is adaptive learning. What is adaptive learning? It's personalized learning. It aims to provide efficient, effective, and customized learning. So if a student is having problem, difficulty in understanding or lags behind, the teacher adapts to that learner, which is called tutoring or adaptive learning. And we have our learning support teachers for that, adaptive learning. Next is context-based learning. Context-based learning, it's in the form of activities and students' work experiences. It's not a transfer of knowledge from teacher to student. So children, they really have to go through actual practical experiences. So instead of simply learning calculations and formulas, the students have to understand why they are learning it in the first place and how they can use it in their daily life. So for example, our children need many experiences of investigating the idea that 3 blocks plus 2 blocks make 5 blocks before they will understand that 3 plus 2 is 5. So if you are reading a book on how to develop your muscles, I think it is better if you hit the gym. That's what, practical. You have to do it practically. So next is computational teaching. Computational thinking is the prerequisite skill for understanding the technologies of the future, and it is now becoming the foundational skill for our young learners in the junior block. So now it's integrated in our routines and curriculum. So highlighting relevant topics that have multifaceted skill sets like coding, programming methods, digital games. This method is ideal for subjects that have logical and analytical components like our math, science and computer. We also have 3DI program, which is a digital arts program from New Zealand for our learners. And now we have also started Karkhana, a new initiative. It's an educational company that creates and runs innovative workshops to teach science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics. It's known as STEAM to kids through playful fabrication projects. Next, we have incidental learning. Incidental learning happens when we least expect it, like when you're watching TV or reading a book or talking to a friend or playing a video game. But we can have that in our classroom also by creating a game of our own, like say supposing a treasure hunt with written clues on it. That is incidental learning. Now, why do we do this? To suit the needs of different types of learners in our classroom. We have visual spatial learners. Visual spatial learners are learners who understand, they learn by looking at visual concepts. They rely on their eyes, they remember, they understand and learn what they see. That's visual learners. Next we have the kinesthetic learners. The kinesthetic learners are your tactile learners or your hands-on learners. They learn by doing. So they absorb information best through touch, movement or motor. Next type of learner we have is the musical learner. The musical learner or rhythmic learners, they learn best through melody or rhythm. So they learn by whistling or humming or tapping their pencil on the desk or toe tapping, or they like to listen to background music when they are studying. So that music is not disturbing them, actually that music is helping them in the learning process. So that's musical learners. Next, we have the linguistic learner. The linguistic learner learns best through linguistic skills like listening, speaking, reading and writing. So these type of learners, they enjoy role plays, discussions, group discussions, they enjoy class presentations, they enjoy new vocabulary and word games. The logical mathematical learner, these learners, they must classify or categorize things. So they also tend to understand relationships or patterns, numbers and equations better than the others. Then we have the interpersonal learners. Interpersonal learners are learners who learn by relating to others. These people, they share stories, they work in teams, they compare their ideas to the ideas of others. And then we have the intrapersonal learner. The intrapersonal learner, these learners learn best when they are alone. They are self-reliant and independent learners. And the naturalistic learners are nature learners. These learners learn best when they are interacting with nature, so when they are outdoors. Hands-on learning outdoors. Next we go to language. We focus mainly in this junior block, we focus mainly in language. The 4 skills of learning language is listening, reading, writing and speaking, LSRW. For listening, we have the teacher plays an audio clip where the students, they can have to listen to it and at the end she asks questions. Otherwise, generally she can also read a story, so they have to improve their listening skills. Or for grade 1, we can play Simon Says game. That's a very fun game to play with our grade 1 learners. Next, we have speaking. For speaking, we have public speaking sessions, we have jam sessions, we have show and tell, we have storytelling, and we have spin a yarn sessions for speaking. For reading, in literature, we have 3 novels which we have to complete in that academic session. Then every Friday, we have drop everything and read time, better known as the DARE time, once a week for our children and teachers. So We inspire our students and we support our students in independent reading during their time. Our students also, they get to take library books, and we have a reading log, which is a part of the reading program. Parents of grade 1 and 2, you will have to help your children in filling out the reading program daily. So it is imperative that children should read daily. So I would like to request our parents to please encourage your child to read storybooks daily, set a time frame for reading every day, and allocate more time during the weekends. So by doing this, you are developing a reading culture at home also. Next, let's talk about bag weight and homework. So in the classrooms, we have open shelves at the back, and we have lockers for children to keep their books and bags. And only a reasonable amount of homework is assigned to the students. Mostly they'll be getting Nepali and maths daily. The school diary, the parents, you'll have to sign the school diary daily. And PTM, we conduct PTM 4 times. So parents, this is the time you get to meet the teachers. So please be involved in your child's learning. And last is the school schedule. So by 8:20, everyone should be in arrival at school. 8:30 to 8:45, we have the circle time assembly. From 8:50, our classes will begin. At 9:50, we have lunch for grades 1 and 2. Lunch begins at 9:50. For grades 3 and 5, we have from 10:10. For snacks, grade 1 and 2 snacks time is 1:15. And for grades 3, 4, 5 is at 1:30. And dispersal time is at 2:55 to 3:15. That means 3:15 the buses will leave the compound, school compound. Thank you.